let me ask you a question, because you brought up your mom. Of course, you know I love her to death. She's somebody that, of course, I've been knowing for a long period of time. But one thing I know that you got from her, I know you got your political savvy from her, because she's always been somebody who worked in the community, always fought for equal rights. She's all like, especially that graveyard situation about 25 years ago. She was at the front line of that type of situation. Is that how you kind of more so developed and morphed into, I don't want to call you a political comedian, but now a lot of your comedy is about politics?
Well, I think ultimately it's about the things that I've experienced. I think I've always kind of talked about these things, whatever I kind of saw, but I think now the stakes are so much higher than they ever have been. Mm-hmm. And so when I, like, it's just, I just find things ironic. Like, I find it ironic when you got people who've literally been under quarantine or stay-at-home rules for 3 to 6 weeks. Slavery lasted for 400 years, but them motherfuckers can't take it. We had to pick cotton, and they mad they got to pick up their order curbside. I don't understand. Like they compared it to slavery. Slavery didn't have Postmates. It didn't have that. So, but I think I've always looked at the ironic part of the situation, and that has always appealed to me. But I think now people just are kind of tuned into that frequency where now politics is really just pop culture.
That's pretty much it, man. But once again, you can't have a president going out basically saying something about taking disinfectants and basically saying it's sarcasm during a time like this when everybody's looking at the leader of your country to give you some advice.
I think that Clorox is the perfect thing for a Trump follower to take. And Clorox is just like Trump. It works good on whites. It does.
Nigga's crazy.
And it fucks up niggas' shirts. I'm just telling you. It's just the same thing.
So D, where are we gonna go, man? It's like, it's laughing. I said something about it today. I said this would be so freaking funny if it wasn't so sad. Where are we going? We got a couple of months before we decide if we're gonna have him as the president.
And I'm really not trying to be dismissive of anybody, but look at every situation where Black people have started to enjoy anything, we've had to overcome people like this. Mm-hmm. Everyone. And Trump is not even the best of those people. Like Trump is literally a beta male, because alpha males surround themselves with other alpha males. They don't really care. But he's not bright, he's not impassioned, and he's not the worst that we've had to deal with in terms of intellect and just wherewithal. We've dealt with much worse people than him, and to see and he will go the way of everybody else. Every ounce of freedom, everything we enjoy, we have snatched and taken away from men like him. So I don't understand why dealing with men like him is in our DNA. It's imbued in our psyche. So I don't understand why we thought we would get our pass when our fathers didn't, our grandfathers didn't. So now all of a sudden it's our turn to deal with some level of upheaval. And obviously a pandemic is something that no one's kind of ever seen before, but ultimately the results are the same. Is men, I'll say this. Mankind is the most dangerous virus on the face of the earth. Mm. And the most virulent form of that virus is old white men.
Mm. Why you say that?
Because if you look at all the things that we attribute to, the earth is now on it's fish swimming in canals, its air is cleaner. Mm. Why? The earth is recovering, not because of us. We don't own factories and chemical plants and petroleum plants. We work at them. But literally, if you look at all the things that are attributed to all the things that we're going through, it's poverty and dirty conditions and lack of. Why does that happen? It happens because old white dudes want to be rich and powerful. And so to pretend like that's not the case, the most virulent form we are the most dangerous virus on the face of the earth, and the most virulent form of that, white people are the COVID-19 of Earth. They are, man. Like, when you look at what's happening and all the things we're talking about right now, I'm really glad that they didn't find out that it was disproportionately affecting Black and brown people in the beginning, because they wouldn't have spent $2 trillion in stimulus packages. They wouldn't have been trying to bail things out. They'd have said what Jerome Adams, who was the Surgeon General, said, which is, they drink and they smoke and they bought it on themselves.
But Dio, they really ain't spent no $2 trillion because ain't nobody from the hood or nowhere else got no money because you
No.
hey Dio, you seen who got the money? Stanford.
Right.
Somebody else just gave some
Harvard
the other day. All these big companies, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Impoverished people ain't got no money, man. Nobody got no money.
You're right, but then they wouldn't even have the pretext of spending it.
Right.
They wouldn't have had the pretext of spending it. Listen, when you tell Americans, basically Americans are derided for living paycheck to paycheck, but corporations live from stimulus to stimulus. The airline industry got bailed out less than 20 years ago after 9/11. We already bailed them out. Like they would have been, without this influx of cash from the government, they would have been broke or out of cash by June 30th. And these are airlines who are making unprecedented profits. So if they can run out of money, how come we can't? If you'll bail them out, how come? And when they give people this $1,200, that's your money anyway. The government they J.G. Wentworth. That's all the money they get.
Hey, Mike and Dio, you know what tripped me out today, Mike and Dio?
What's that?
That I seen the Lakers gave back $4.9 million. Like, how did y'all
Absolutely
get money?
Absolutely.
Yep. They got it through a small business.
Shake Shack gave it back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Ruth Chris gave it back. Hotel chains gave it back. So the very packages that were supposed to help out small businesses went to very rich people, and they're only now being shamed into giving that money back.
That's what I'm saying. Think about the ones who haven't given it back because they have not been exposed yet. So think about that as much and all that money.